Hey guys. Alright. In 1983, 50 companies controlled 90% of all news media in the United States. Today, however, ownership of the news media has been concentrated in the hands of just 6 incredibly powerful media corporations. My name is Tommy Young, and over the past few weeks, I have read dozens of scholarly articles related to the media and its ownership. Today I'm going to talk about how the limited ownership of media outlets is detrimental to our society because there's too much power in too few hands. The average American spends nearly 4 hours a week watching the news. With so much of our time spent watching the news, it stands to reason that we're all being affected in some way or another by the news being fed to us. From the delocalization of your local newscast, to the conflict of interest that are increasingly present, there are many reasons why the concentration of media ownership is bad. First and foremost, let me tell you the definition of media consolidation. It is a process whereby progressively fewer individuals or organizations control increasingly more shares of the mass media. So now let me tell you why there is such a limited ownership of media outlets. Well, it all starts with money, right? It takes money to make money, and most of the media tycoon owners have bought their way into business via mergers and acquisitions. Media mergers are the result of one media-related company buying another company for control of their resources in order to increase their revenues and viewership. Successful media companies usually buy out other companies to make them more powerful, profitable, and able to reach a larger audience. So now that we understand what media consolidation mergers are, let me tell you the definition of an oligopoly and how it applies to the media industry. An oligopoly is when a few firms dominate the market. When the large-scale media companies buy out more smaller-scaled companies, they become more powerful within the market. As they continue to eliminate their business competition through buyouts or forcing them out, the companies left dominate the media industry, and it creates a media oligopoly like we see in today's market. So now that we have an understanding of a media oligopoly, that is today's market, let me introduce you to the 6 mega corporations that own 90% of all media in the US. Okay. They are GE, or General Electric, who among others own NBC and Comcast. News Corp, which you might not have heard of until the whole Rupert Murdoch hacking scandal happened a few years ago. Some of the big outlets they own are Fox and the Wall Street Journal. And we got Disney. Some of their notable properties are ABC and ESPN. Viacom, some of their notable outlets are MTV and Paramount. Time Warner, they own CNN and HBO. And then there's CBS, owns NFL and Showtime. These 6 corporations not only have the power and ability, but have the privilege of deciding what the American people are going to watch and listen to today. Now let me start to explain some of the negative consequences of having such limited media ownership. First of all, it delocalizes our local news station into casting mostly global and commercialized news. This can be seen as good in the sense that we become more innovative, but majority bad because of the hampering effect this creates in the local markets. We know what's going on in Europe, but we have no idea what's going on in our local yards. Also, since the ultra-powerful mass market media is primarily loyal to sponsors and advertisers, they have no interest in public opinion. Second, since the big corporations that own 90% of all American media have a strong conflict of interest in that they are supposed to deliver you the news, but a lot of the news is biased. Bias in the sense that it is better not conflict with the profit-maximizing strategy that all these companies have. So the conflict is, how can these companies deliver the news yet still not make their corporation or any of their corporation subsidiaries lose revenue by what they are saying? Furthermore, how can these companies increase their revenue as well as other interests that their corporate elite ownership might have? Some of these interests may include leaning the news toward a specific political party or movement, as well as make other parties look bad. We see this in the news all the time. So, to summarize, The limited ownership of the mass media is bad for society. It is bad because it eliminates fair competition by the big dogs beating out the little by having bigger wallets. It creates a globalized news production rather than a localized. And ultimately, creates a huge news biasness that must be carefully understood in order to avoid. I urge all of you to go out there and learn more about your favorite news station and figure out what biasness they may have and how that affects what they report and what they don't report. By doing this, you will become better informed about the world and what is true and not true in today's mainstream media. Thank you for your time and have a wonderful day.